project mission is Triple Health. In case you're not signed up yet to the ARC newsletter, I invite you to sign up to the ARC newsletter. And actually stop sharing this. And
yeah, I think I'm not.
I share briefly the blog.
I saw some of the blog posts, but I'm quite sure I'm not receiving the newsletter.
Yeah. So we just talked about education. The newest blog post is about why scaling environmental education requires a universal basic income. And with Zurich, Switzerland, we have been talking always about phase 3, but the two are very much linked. And this is what the latest blog post is about.
Mm-hmm.
So, and let's go back. Yes, so we have arrived, I think. This bird here has also arrived. It's the big question today. It's very easy, actually, for those who have a bit of an interest in birds. So if you know now, spill it out. Otherwise, there is, of course, unless those who are actually experts, they should give space to the learners.
You really have to look at the beak.
I think in French it's called une spatule, like a spatula.
Spatula, yeah.
Oh, hey, I know something about birds.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I rely on machine learning on these things.
Yeah, it has a very, very outstanding, extraordinary beak. And we can talk about it a bit later, maybe in the end.
It's really
and I also tell you why this bird is here today. It's a beautiful wading bird, quite big. But originally I wanted to actually put this here. So I'm just telling you. So I've been with my family in Morocco for several reasons. And the most outstanding thing there, and the most is the argan tree. But I didn't put it into the ARC. The spoonbill was easier to put in the ARC because I would have had to set up a commons in Morocco, and I think that is a bit out of place currently. But it is similar to olive tree, but it's an endemic species, and you see little nuts that are also then grinded and turned into oil. The oil is, however, used for cosmetics and for medical purposes, and it's one of the Moroccan cash crops. Okay. But the absurd and funny thing, very popular with tourists, are the goats that sit on those trees and eat the nuts. And I have never seen goats doing this before. They're like monkeys.
I didn't know. It's quite famous.
Also can do that.
Yeah. So that's the argan tree, to learn something new. But that's what was a spill. I'm spoiling this. You need to know about the bird afterwards. So what's new? What's new? There are always more goats on the trees, so that's definitely a new development in Morocco, but we also have new functionalities. And today we're going to talk about class management 2.0. We introduced a bit of this functionality last time. Then the first time we talked today about how the tree ecosystem services can be automated on the ARC. We talk about post visibility, posts with pictures in a gallery, and a shareable user profile. Those are the three things. We do it like last time. We have 3 sections. After each presentation, we have a little Q&A. Oh, that's bad. I think that's my mobile phone. Before we start, I think I'm just turning off my mobile phone.
We have to cut the video here.
So, class management 2.0. Schools are the defined focus customer segment for us this year, because this is where a lot of work can be done. What we try to scale with the ARC is a captivating alternative to indoor classes that extends the school grounds, the school premises seamlessly to the city and beyond. So it's really about a standardized approach to turn cities into a big nature classroom. And there are several benefits for children: fun classes full of concentration, curiosity, and compassion. Very important for the teachers, and this is what hopefully also really gets them on the ARC, is easy and structured outdoor classes, unfolding multiple intelligences, no matter which level. Then for the school or the principals, we have a local curriculum that can be self-built, no? Because if you go for Morocco, for example, there's obviously no species, no specimen, nothing is listed there, and they need to build it themselves. And this is how you build ecological intelligence and systems awareness, because you don't work with what is already there. You work and build something new. And for the parents, it means that you can watch and join your child on a journey to become a guardian of the planet, because parent profiles can be connected to the child profile sometime later this year.
Right.
Good. So I jump now in the ARC, okay, and I show you this update. So here we are. We are now on the ARC. I'm logging in. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes, so we have communities, and one school that we already collaborate with is this primary school not far from here. And this primary school currently has 2 classes. One class is a real class existing with a teacher. We can also quickly look into this. You see here that they have 17 students here, but I'm not supposed to show more of this. So I'm clicking away again, and we go into the class that we have set up as a dummy class for today. Here I'm the main teacher. And what you see here is overview, students, and activities. And the students, we want to make it easy for teachers to board the students. It's empty. So I upload now an Excel list, and I can either use the template that is here and copy paste from an existing Excel list the fields that are needed, or I upload this list that has been prepared and I import it. And voila, you see immediately that we have last name, first name, emergency number, and date of birth. It's a very intergenerational class. That's the way we like it. I press after confirmation, OK, and you see it's in the class. So the students are in the class of the teacher.
The import.
Yes. So the overview also shows that in this class, I've already selected main teacher as myself, and an additional teacher is Gloria. So the 2 of us are guiding this class. And one more thing as a 3rd step would be that we show activities. Yeah. So we can either set up a new activity here, yeah, or we go into the library, and that's what we will do also in February with this local school. And we look for activities that we want to activate with them. And so I choose this one, 3+, 3 hours. That's what I want to do. I first maybe browse really how the facilitation works, or I invite the nature guide from Green Steps or another organization. And then I create the activity and I say, Otto Glöckl Elementary School.
And that's created directly in the class. So that's then You still need to write the name of the class at this moment.
So Otto Körkel, and then the name of the class?
No, just like 1B, 1A.
Ah, okay, 1B, okay. So I create the activity and I select the facilitator. In this case will be me. And here we go. So I say that this will start after the semester break. Semester break isn't this week, so we do it on Friday of that week. We want to start at 8 a.m. actually early, so that we are back by 12. Same day. 12, it's gonna be over, maybe even 11, so that they can have an early lunch. Location is St. Pölten, of course. And everything else is pre-filled, so I can adapt this, but this is what makes it easy now, that everything is pre-filled. And I go next. Yeah, I can check here again. So what kind of impact will they get? What's the schedule? This I need to adapt slightly, but it's also pre-filled. So, and the schedule is actually only for myself. 10 and 10:45. Sorry, 11:45 is the closing circle. So you see here, it's very fast that I adapt this. And then I see here that along this route, I will run into these species. I'm sorry, these specimens. So those are concrete specimens that have already been logged on the ARC, mapped on the ARC. And after the children have completed this route, they will get these specimens awarded. And that ties now in the other functionality that Gloria will introduce in a second, because children get then the ecosystem services that these trees provide on their profile. And of course, if I have implemented this route, after the route, in case I encountered something else, maybe a different species, yeah. I'm just making it easy. I picked the first one. A predator bird, we have seen the predator bird, which is very unlikely, but we just say it has been there. Then this is also along the route. I can add there additional notes, resources. I have everything in here telling me how to quickly facilitate this activity. And here it is. I publish it. And that was it. So I think
maybe you can directly show the dashboard now to show how now then you have the dashboard right in front of you. Yeah, it was there.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
If you go to the dashboard, then this is where the impact points and the BI is awarded after the activity. Yeah, exactly. And if you go back into the 1B or 1A dashboard through the 1B, then you can go to the overview, and in there the teacher can see stats about the class. This is also new stuff that we have added in here. Yeah, so we see the average BI of the whole class, which is calculated as the number of species and specimens in this commons divided by the number of the observed ones in the class, then average number of impact points by the students, average number of observations. This is how many times there was a specimen observed by a student. So if you see the same specimen in 2 events, then you're gonna have 2 observations. Yeah? The number of activities, past and upcoming, and then average number of observed specimen. This is then unique. So if that, if the students saw 7 specimen, all of them twice, then this is still going to be 7, and the same for the species. And now under that is a table where all the data is shown per student.
Yep, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, I have a quick question. I think this is really a very good help for schools, and I wonder, to get started, who is more receptive? Is it someone from the school, like a teacher or the director, or is it more someone from provincial administration, like the Department of Education of a provincial government? Because they have to think about curriculum and these kind of things. So I think for them, it's a no-brainer that this is very helpful. And I don't know whether for a school, they maybe like it, but they don't know how to get it started with their already busy processes.
I really think it depends very much where you are, because the local differences are substantial. In Austria, everybody told me we cannot make such a decision, but the parliamentary speaker of the Green Party, so who is one of the lawmakers in Austria for this field, she said actually the autonomy of Austrian schools is very, very far-reaching. They can do whatever they want, but the teachers, they don't have the guts to do it, or they just don't want to do it. And the principals are usually also giving the teachers free hands. So it's very much like a flywheel. Maybe in other jurisdictions, it's different. Yeah. So in China, obviously you cannot do anything at all, but for different reasons, because the law just forbids it. I don't know how it is in Switzerland. But it's always a good guess to have a good start, I think, to have a teacher who's interested in nature and who wants to try new things, because he will then try, maybe recommend it to the director, and then they implement it. Sometimes it is the director. So I don't have a clear answer to this question.
Okay. In Switzerland, it's federated. That means the whole education things is not under control of the national government. It's all in the hands of the provincial governments. They basically can do what they want. They can use the books they want. There are some very loose things they have to fulfill, but basically they are free what they want to do. And some of our provincial governments are quite big, like the canton, the province of Zurich. It's big and powerful, but there are some provincial governments which have like 30,000 inhabitants. So there is maybe 2-3 people in charge of the education in the whole province. So maybe they are not have not so much time to innovate, or maybe even more so, who knows? So it really also here depends very much from province to province.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's always good to really try, maybe with somebody that you know, that is befriended with you.
I have someone in mind who was in charge of the kind of content-wise suggesting the provincial education government how to teach. And she has now another role, but I can ask her what she thinks of it and whether she can recommend someone. Because the province I'm talking is Lucerne, that's my home province. It's not as big as Zurich, but it's not small either. So it's like the nice medium ground where they are not too big for change, but not too small that they just don't have any resources to do much. So I think it can be quite a sweet spot, middle-sized province.
Listen, I mean, you know what I do afterwards? Because we are now really in dear need of funding. So we need to get funding until April. So for the last week, we prepared a corporate sponsorship pitch for Hyundai Europe, because Ellen is somehow tied into this company. But I also sent it to others. So I will send this file to you. Also our executive briefing, it's just 2 pages. Mm-hmm. And then we have, I think, a very nicely done slide deck that explains the educational concept behind the nature education with the ARC.
Okay, yeah, so, please. And then I can forward it, and then...
yeah, or maybe you want to first schedule a call with me to answer questions, and then...
Yeah, I think she now has a very different job in a different industry, but she was in that role for several years. So at least she knows who it could be interesting for, and I have to check that with her first.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
And then maybe we can also mention that we are starting the first school project in here next month. So we hope to get a lot of valuable feedback from that, like which features are useful, and what more they can imagine they could get from it. Yeah, so I think that mainly the interest is in the curriculum and in actually doing the activities. And now we need to find what is the sweet spot with balancing it with the platform,
okay.
and, so that it gives them useful stuff, right? Yeah, I'm thinking we need to add reporting for parents, like you add the emails of the parents, and then the teacher can send a report of the last month that the parents then could use to go through the materials with the kids, for example, or in the future maybe do a quiz or something like that together with the kids, right?
I think your solution can already do so much things and looking so good. I feel it should be enough. We just have to pitch the right way.
And there needs to be really a value for these users, and that's not so easy. ARC can already do a lot, but the question is, does it satisfy the needs of a user to such an extent that they really want to use it? And the bottom line here for schools is that many schools already use digital helpers software to manage indoor training, indoor schooling, indoor communication. SchoolFox, there are many solutions, and many schools are reluctant to now start to use a second app. But what we try to cover is basically the outdoor learning space with the ARC. So this is the main USP. How do you manage learning in the outdoors?
Yeah,
we'll see. So
I think that would be of interest in many schools in Switzerland for sure, because they say a lot of them try to do more outdoor learning.
So then I hand over to Gloria in a second. I'm moving back to our slide deck. What we have here, if you see my screen, is part 2, Ecosystem Heroes. We mentioned this already a bit last time. So the idea is that we visualize green capital and bridge science and society. There is a lot of science also being popularized recently, but it's still not really in the mainstream knowledge or even wisdom. And that's what we try to do with the ARC. So you saw before that when you go outdoors on a route and you explore and connect with certain trees, that they are awarded to your account. And when they are awarded to your account, we also want to get across, communicate in a very simple manner, ecosystem services that are being provided. And why is that? Because trees are a keystone species, and the humans are a tree-dependent species. If the trees are gone, we are gone too. All right, Gloria.
Okay. So what I'm gonna show to you today are actually still pretty basic elements about specimens, because like maybe I can start from creating a specimen and then we will see what we are getting, and I explain to you from that point because I think it would be easier. So I'm gonna share my screen. Let's go into the ARC. And do you still see something? Not yet, nothing yet.
Loading.
Yeah, it's actually very slow. Yeah, because it's the specimen page and we have very lots of them. Okay, so I start from creating a new specimen, which is just a tree we have collected today in a BFG. And it's a Hesculus hippocastanum, so horse chestnut. Okay, I'm going to select a picture immediately. Yeah. It's in the download. Maybe this horizontal one. Yeah, actually my laptop is like this now. Why it's not working actually? Does it do anything? What's wrong? No?
Because you didn't click the
Oh.
right button.
My God, so. Okay, yeah. What's it? Oh, I still vertical. Okay. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was today?
Yeah. That's Pascal on level 3. I have the German. Okay. So we call it T29, T because it was in the walk around the Kreisen, and 29 because it's the 29th specimen on that route. Esculus hippocastanum, if we have a better name for it, but for now we just give the species. So we decided that the code is 329. It's only a single tree. From this we move forward. So coordinates, I want to have them from here. I collected them today, of course, on Google Maps. And well, this tree is just Saint-Polten because it's pretty much in the center. It's in front of a natural history museum. And so for now, we only enter the GERF. It's not mandatory, right?
No, you still need to enter actually the age also.
Oh yeah? Okay. Then for now, I will say approximately this is, let's say, 150 years old. Let's use, yeah, pretty much. When did I measure it last time? It was on the 2023. Today is the 18th, right? Okay. What do we want? Okay, let's maybe upload another picture in here. I can have the same one, but full horizontal. And where it's like me struggling with the rope and Pascal looking in front. And and then we're gonna say, I don't know, like beautiful, beautiful and large chestnut, horse chestnut, it's better, horse chestnut tree located in front of the natural history museum. That's it. The really short one. And then, yeah, we don't have much here. Oh, okay, let's go to next. Yeah, we don't know much. Like in this case, maybe we should talk with somebody in the Natural History Museum if they have anything to say. But for now, it's definitely something to be decided. So let's see how it looked like. So go to view specimen page. And wow, the age is different from what I insert because it's 152, but I went very, very close. So which means that the equation that is behind it is working pretty well, or my brain is actually knowing. So what we have now is you see the age, but also the height, because this is also data that I did not insert, but is getting there automatically. And so those are data that we got from the University of Munich, the Technical University of Munich. They are finally providing us with the equation that we need. And for now, we got them only for the age and for the height of 7 species, like the most common species in Munich, but also in our area, because we are really close bioregions, ecoregions. So actually here it says which species we are, which are Tilia cordata, Rubinum pseudoacacia, the plane tree. Okay, I don't know if you're interested in, but horse chestnut, and different type of maples, and Fraxinus, the ash. So in case you want to collect, in case you map a tree, like you know that if it's between those species, we have the automated calculation. Otherwise, you need to insert them manually, and you still use some more rough calculation. And so this is a probably, but what we are still missing are actually the real ecosystem services. Those is work in progress, so they will give us to us. Like actually for now, we are close to have a cooling power. And for this, we are actually in need to also look for soil sealing around trees, which is one more variable that we will have to observe every time that we map a tree, because apparently soil sealing is also affecting the cooling power of the tree. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's it. I think for this, it's everything.
Thank you, Gloria. I think it's very nice and intuitive. And also by building up this library, it will be a very good base for further gamification. Could be a quiz where you see something and you guess, or you can play card, which has how much cooling power, which has how much diversity, like a card game.
We were speaking about this yesterday, actually.
Yes, it's actually in our design pipeline. So we talked about it yesterday. So the cards that you see, the overview cards, they will be a little bit like the Panini album, football players with different powers. It's really about gamifying it and getting the interests of children and maybe also adults in nature, and what it helps us and how it helps us actually to survive. Mm-hmm. So the three cards that you see down there, this is what we will be working next on. I would say over the next half year.
Yeah, the cooling power, carbon storage, and biodiversity regions.
Yeah, and I would say this might be then also interesting, for example, for older kids, like in a bit, I don't know for what age, but when they also are looking for application of skills that they have learned in other classes, then they don't need only to be recipients of like observing the trees that are already in the system, but the school or the teacher can pull them into the process of creating the library of trees, the collection of trees in the commons, and then they need to calculate diameter from the girth. They maybe can try to deduce what is the influence of the girth on the age.
It's really applied mathematics, natural sciences. Mm-hmm. So in the primary years, they will just follow the routes that already exist. But in the secondary years, they will build their own routes, and they will map their own species, and they will calculate stuff themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. These are the two ways that we think that the mobile campus could be applied in schools. Yeah, so we're very curious to see the real world interest, what people already do with it after it's free out there.
It's brilliant. And Knut, you mentioned before that you're looking for funding also on the corporate side with Hyundai. And speaking of corporate, this morning I was attending a webinar, a global webinar from GRI, the Global Reporting Initiative, which was doing public comment period for revision of the GRI biodiversity standard confirmation. The GRI standards is a so-called ESG network, environmental, social, and governance. So quite a holistic width. And it's the leading standard globally for large companies to measure and describe and report how sustainable or not they are. And biodiversity is something which is kind of hard to capture for those large companies, but it is clearly something which seems to get more steam. Just 2-3 months ago, I mean, you know, there was the Montreal COP, and this was today there was 600 participants in the call. So one participant usually is the sustainability responsible from a large company, and there were so many, like 400 of the 600 were from Europe, and they all want to do better reporting and want to become a more responsible corporation. And they sometimes, don't really know what to do, because on one hand, they have some potential to improve in their core operations, but that sometimes takes quite some time to adjust. But they also want to kind of refresh recode the minds of their employees and of their management by doing progressive learning methods, and maybe actually the ARC could be a way to do internal education programs for corporations as well, not only for schools. And I will forward you this presentation from this Global Reporting Initiative about this biodiversity standard confirmation, because that could be another entry gate to this to corporate collaboration.
I think it could be. It ties also in the last feature, last functionality that Lucas is going to share today.
Okay.
I mean, we always thought a bit that the ARC could also, at least partially, pick up the green movement, but intersect with LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a corporate social network, and ARC is basically the survival social network. Let's put it like this. In the end, the people in corporations also want to survive now.
Yes.
Everybody wants to survive. All right, cool. So
yeah, then we go back to the slides. Thank you, Gloria, for this. Then I share again. Where are they? Suddenly they're gone. Give me a second. Suddenly they're gone. Why is that? Here they are. Then they need to be here as well. So here they are. So the third part here are posts. So what happens, I read a very interesting article today about Twitter. There are, I'm following quite a bit what people say about Twitter after the takeover and how basically democracies are influenced. It was a bit of an exaggerated Guardian article saying that Twitter influences the world, but as a matter of fact, it is just being used in the West now. There is WeChat and other platforms with even more users, or double the number of users in China and other countries. But Twitter has a huge impact, and since it's owned by a single person, basically, people are very concerned with again censorship, and what is apart from censorship important is what do we actually discuss on our social media? We discuss so many things that are pretty pointless. So what we try to do with the posts is moving the discussion to what really matters in this period, in the Holocene and the Anthropocene. when we face massive extinction and maybe even our own extinction. And Lucas is going to share the next step that we have taken in this regard.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm gonna.
Are you already there? Are you there?
Yeah. Am I there? I'm there. All right. So already last month, we had a look at the posts. So just to recap, the posts were possible inside of the commons. And they are planned to serve the function of talking about what is happening with the nature elements in your surroundings. So each post has the person who posts it. And what is special in here in the commons is that each post has a location. The location should be always a location inside of that commons. So it should be a discussion about things that are happening in a concrete place in your neighborhood. So through this is moderating what we are talking about in the way that people, person A and person B, talk together through the topic of a natural element. And so you can see that Knut saw, when was that? On the 17th of January, another logging of a tree is unfortunately quite often happening in here in St. Pölten. So that's a difference since last time. Last time there was not possible to put a picture into a post. So Gloria and the others were on a walk today, and I'm going to quickly create a post that Gloria has actually prepared so that we can see how it works with the pictures and with the visibility. All right, so I'm going to just quickly get the text that Gloria gave to me. And it was a text about Big Friendly Giants walk. So I've inserted it. And the new thing in here is the visibility button. So if you click on it, you can see that the post can be either public for anyone on the ARC, or it can be members only, where only the members of the community or the commons can see it. Or it can be a team only, where only mentors and facilitators of this community or commons can see it. So you see, this is actually ready to be used also in other places of the ARC, and the post will be possible also in communities. And is also possible inside of activities. Yeah? So if you have an activity and you need to show something only to the participants, then you select participants, and it will not be visible to anyone who is just checking the activity out and is not actually participating. So kind of private message board, or it can also be only among the team, among the facilitators. So in here, we are interested to have it public. So that's what it is. And Gloria also took some pictures. So I'm gonna click the picture icon, and in here, I can drag and drop the pics. I'm just gonna select them in a different window. And here it comes.
Drag and drop.
All right, so we've got the pictures. And ready to go public? Not yet. We need to select a location. So what would you put here, Gloria?
Can you get it like Dresden? Can you, I mean.
Dresden in St. Pölten?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
Amazing. Okay, let's go live. Good. And so sorry, Gloria, I stole this from you. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of likes.
The whole gallery, cool.
And yeah, so this is a way to share pictures with people in the commons and in the activities as well. The thing works like a gallery. So you click on it and you can browse through the pictures.
Much nicer weather in Austria than it was here. We had snow.
The weather is not the way it should be. It's far too warm.
It was pretty cold in the morning, but then it got much better. I just put it a like, by the way.
Thank you, Gloria.
Yeah, so this is pretty brilliant. So this is we didn't prepare this, but actually, since Lucas showed this, would it be also possible, Gloria, that you just show one nature element posted in the activity, like in the nature guide course?
One nature element posted in the nature guide course.
Well, you are on the nature guide course,
yeah,
no?
Sure.
Because we also in parallel started today with John a nature guide training. And one of the assignments in the nature guide training, which might be also interesting actually for schools and teachers, is that you for 2 weeks document anything.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't have to be now, but I mean, this would be then in an activity. You said this is,
Yeah,
in
exactly.
an activity.
So now in every activity, as soon as you get in, like we might see it in the, I can do it, for example, in the call of today, right?
What is interesting here is also when a teacher says, okay, today we go on this route, and then within this activity, there is an assignment from each student and they need to share it in the activity. And they could do it directly there. And when the assignment is completed by everybody, then you close the route and you award IPs based on your assignments, for example. So there are many applications also for learning. Experiential learning, double underlined, because it's not classroom learning.
Yeah, exactly. So what you can see now on my screen is the post as it would look in activity or in a course. So this is now about the crew course. So I can just say hello crew, and I will show it only.
Strong winds today.
And I will show it only to participants, which means as soon as you become a participant of this activity, you will be able to see this post. Otherwise, it will be hidden. Cool.
Brilliant. So this is really great. All right. Should we do a bit of a review here? Anything that you want to share? Any thoughts?
Let me quickly check my notes.
I mean, what comes to my mind immediately now is really if we manage maybe until spring equinox to also have a peer-to-peer chat, then it really is possible to ask people to try the ARC as an alternative in terms of social network. Of course, only in to start with, but I mean, then the functionalities are there to communicate. This is really something that comes to my mind now. In the end, people need a quick fix for many things, and social media is not to be removed anymore from our lives.
I think also there exists 2 or 3 social networks for plants, and you could also be one of those social networks for plants talking together. You know, the people have some kind of plant, and if someone shows an interest in that plant or in a tree, whatever, then they're getting informed, and then they can start chatting with each other, and they can maybe meet at that tree and do some education program or whatever. And it's another way of building a social network.
Yeah. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe makes sense to summarize the posting maybe also with this slide. So I don't know if you remember, we showed this in the very beginning now, to traditional social media connect people. But there is a change underway in a jurisdiction like Germany. Trees are not anymore things. They're different from things. They're organisms in their own right. So they cannot be treated anymore like a slave or a thing. And connecting through parts of nature is definitely an aspiration of the ARC. What is important to understand is to benchmark with existing solutions. iNaturalist does the same now. but iNaturalist focuses on parts of nature that change the location almost permanently, you know, butterflies, frogs. You take a picture, you log the GPS coordinates, next time they're gone, you will not find it anymore. What we do is here we build landscapes in our minds with semi-permanent parts of nature. That's a completely different concept. It's quite important to understand this, because the landscapes that we build in our brains, they don't change. And the Arc is in this regard a helper to really build these landscapes. A tree that is in a certain location for 150, 300, 500 years is different from a butterfly.
Yeah, and so maybe I add that for the specimen page. So what Gloria was showing, basically, there are comments right now. So these comments will be removed and they will be replaced by the same feature of posts. And the difference will be that those posts will be visible also in the commons where this tree is growing. Yeah?
Okay.
So then the discussion is not hidden inside of that tree, but it has the potential to attract more eyes through that. Yeah.
And in the online version, is it also shareable? Shareable, you know, if you use it on your mobile phone. And honestly, I haven't tested the Arc yet on my mobile phone. Is it how to say?
You mean if you take a picture? If you take a picture with your mobile phone, can you share it then in the Arc? Is this?
No, if you watch the picture on your mobile phone in the Arc, and you press the share button in your browser, can the Arc be a recipient or a sender?
Can be a sender. Yeah, it cannot be a recipient now, but each of those pages has a unique link. That means that as soon as you press the share button in the browser, it can be shared, and the person who opens it will see the same content.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay. Good.
That's what we actually do already a year. Whenever we have those pictures at the very end of our presentation, also like now in a second, the link that is shown in the slides about the species is a unique link from the Arc.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually, this is very good feedback, yeah, because as soon as you open the gallery, that is not updating the link. Yeah. So if you have the gallery open, then you copy the link, then you will end up on the page where the post is. Yeah. So that would be very nice to end up directly on the picture. That's probably what you meant. Yeah. So
yeah, kind of
taking a note. Yeah. And maybe to spoil the beans, also we are working on, because the Arc is a progressive web app. So as such, it can be directly installed right now from the browser. So in the mobile browser, if you using Chrome, you also Firefox, same. You click on Add to Home Screen, then you have it on the home screen, and it looks like an app. Then this app can also be a recipient of those share events. So for example, if you are in your gallery in the phone and you are on a specific picture and then you click share, like if you want to send that picture to someone on WhatsApp, then you would select the WhatsApp icon in there, right? So then there is the potential to have the Arc there as well as the recipient of this picture, right? And then you can directly share it. So
okay, cool.
Yeah. So right now it's installable only from the browser directly, but we are working on the Google Play entry right now, and after that online we will work on the Apple Store, App Store.
And afterward on the F-Droid.
Yeah, well, on F-Droid actually I don't know if
it's not electable because of the
it's basically just a packaged website. Yeah? So I don't know if they do it there, but it would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's
can you do the sharing? I mean, can you show this like now? How to share a picture? Like you said we can share from the Arc.
Well, you can share from the Arc right now, always only by copying the link.
The link, but if I have it on a mobile, this is what Hans asked, because you copy the link in the web browser.
Yeah.
This is what we just. Okay, I understand this. Yeah.
And so now, if you have the Progressive Web app on Android, you can copy the link from the notifications section. So if it is on Android, that's fine. You always have access to the link. That's not true on iOS. So you just need to add share buttons everywhere.
Okay. Don't use iOS.
World, these days.
But not surprised by this limitation by the Apple walled garden.
And like people are really pushing for the app, which I understand. People do perceive the world in apps nowadays.
Mobile,
then there will have to be the share buttons also everywhere, because then you will not be able to share just directly through the browser.
Okay.
Slowly.
Okay, now it's great progress. Thank you very much for sharing all these. And also answering the questions.
Maybe I show the last thing now already.
Yes, I mean, it's also about sharing. No, it's not sharing species, it's sharing specimens.
Don't worry, I'm going to share a specimen to you as a very little last thing. So right now you can see my profile on the Arc, and what is different is probably you cannot notice it because it's in the address bar. In the past, this was arc.greensteps.me/profile in here. So this was not a link that you could share with someone. But now, as soon as you are on your homepage, you get the unique link of /user/your Arc username. And if you share it to someone, they will end up on your page and they will see your impact points, achievements, interests, and the communities you have joined.
Great little detail for sure.
It's tiny, but it also was an opportunity for a little rewrite of one of the oldest parts of the Arc. So good work under the hood also.
Profile slog.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, maybe I'm just gonna repeat in here that by clicking on the bioregional identity, you can see the learning depending on the species and specimens and where this person is and what they have already collected, what they have already seen. And by clicking on the IPs, you can then see information about the past learning, the badges, and what impact points people got in what activities. This is something you can see for yourself. You can see also for others. It's public information. That's it.
Yeah, so I mean, this is also a very small feature, but we know that some people connect to their LinkedIn profile, which is basically the same. And there is this perception that LinkedIn is about inflated corporate egos, where people put a lot of stuff on their curriculum vitae that maybe is only half true. But it's definitely not so much about sustainability. And with the Arc, we can maybe create profiles where you really show your contribution to a climate change solution. That would be the idea. So last slide to be shared is bird.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
Spoonbill.
Eurasian spoonbill.
You have to look at the bill.
Yeah. So one of the large wading birds, and the story here is that it is native to Austria in the Far East, in the national park that borders Hungary, and that's where I saw it already a couple of times. But I saw it also in its winter residence in Morocco 2 weeks ago.